In the near future, planet Earth is becoming very short of food. Scientists are working round the clock to try and solve the problem of food shortages. A scientist named Lakis is working with a small team on an agricultural project to produce an edible plant which can feed the teeming millions of hungry people. The planet is slowly becoming a difficult place to grow anything. It is becoming dry and arid, and is increasingly subject to extremes of heat and cold. Violent storms seem to shake the very foundations of the planet itself. The situation is becoming critical, and Lakis is determined to do something about it. He is an agricultural engineer and fully committed to try and grow plants to feed the people of planet Earth. He is focused on producing a plant that can live and thrive in very adverse conditions. It must be able to grow whether it is very cold or very hot, very wet or very stormy, on land or in water, in deserts or on ice. Children are taught from a young age the importance of plants and how to grow them properly, so they are healthy and strong, though some are more interested than others. But these lessons are no longer just informative, they are now essential. Lakis works under the direction of Controller, who has charged him with finding a viable food source. In his turn, Controller is coming under increasing pressure from his own leaders. In fact, Controller has little faith in Lakis' scheme. He prefers the idea of developing synthetic food. He has to pay lip service to the idea of developing plants because it is popular. Unaware of this, Lakis continues to work with his team. This team includes senior agricultural engineers Demeter and Anona, and their junior assistant Jamie. All of them are suspicious of Controller and his motives, and they don't trust the other members of Controller's team either. Two of Controller's team are Mrs. Klebb and Mike, and they have frequent arguments with members of Lakis' team. Controller realises he must do something. He has a meeting with Mrs. Klebb and Sarah, another member of his team, and they agree that synthetic food production is the only way forward. Somehow, Lakis must be sidelined from his project. They agree that Lakis must be sent away on a mission to an approaching asteroid to collect samples of some quite primitive plant life which probes have identified as living on the surface of the asteroid. They also agree that he must be accompanied by someone, and in his absence, they agree in true committee fashion that it will be Mike. They will also send a robot known as a synthetic person with them to perform routine navigational and domestic tasks. Controller has another member of his team, a personal assistant named Chloe. He does not share any secrets with her and just uses her for his routine administrative duties. However, he finds Chloe very desirable and secretly wants to possess her for himself. But he is unaware that Chloe has secrets of her own. Controller tells Mike of the plan to send Lakis away and that he must accompany him. Mike is very annoyed. He insists that if he must go, that they are accompanied by the latest edition of an SPP, a type of synthetic person. SPP stands for synthetic play person, and the latest versions, produced by the Japanese, are not only extremely beautiful and lifelike, but also very sexually attractive. It is well known that these synthetic play persons are useless at anything else, but who cares? However, these synthetic play persons are very expensive, and Controller has no wish to spend any more than he has to. Controller tells Mike that he and Lakis will be accompanied by a synthetic person, but not a state-of-the-art synthetic play person like he wants. Instead, they will be accompanied by a SPUD, a discontinued previous generation synthetic person, used for very menial tasks. SPUD stands for Space Pod Usage Domestic. Controller realises Mike is very annoyed, and so to try and appease him, He suggests that one of Lakis's assistants, the senior agricultural engineer Demeter, also accompanies them. Mike is very pleased to hear this. Demeter has no intention of accompanying Mike on any trip. She tells Controller that if he sends her as well, then people will wonder how Lakis's project, so popular with the public, could continue on Earth. Worried about public opinion, Controller has no choice but to reluctantly agree with her. But right though she is about that, there are other, more secret reasons why Demeter does not wish to go away. During their time working together, Demeter and Anona have fallen in love, and nothing will separate them. And there is yet another reason. Demeter and her lover Anona have quietly adopted a young girl as their daughter, and they all live very happily together. There is no way anyone or anything will break them up. Demeter and Anona will stay on Earth, look after their beautiful daughter, and carry on with Lakis's project. So Lakis and Mike, accompanied by Spud version 3 discontinued, take off on their mission. This mission is scheduled to last for about 5 years. Lakis watches through his viewscope as the beautiful silvery blue planet Earth recedes into the distance. He feels very sad, as he too has a secret. Annoyed at having to go on this fruitless mission and not being able to be accompanied by either Demeter or the erotic synthetic play person of his dreams, Mike wastes no time in trying to annoy Lakis. He asks him why he thinks they are going on this mission, and Lakis says to obtain plant samples from an asteroid to help with his project. Mike laughs contemptuously. "To get you out of the way, more like," he says. "Do you really think anyone back home is interested in your futile little project? All you have left there to do the work are 2 girls and a junior lab assistant. What chance do you have?" The journey continues, and then quite unexpectedly, another passenger on the spacecraft is discovered. It is the junior assistant Jamie, but she was not scheduled to be a part of this mission, so what on earth is she doing on this spacecraft? Mike is furious to find that they have another passenger with them, especially the junior Jamie, and asks why she is there. Lakis tries to keep the peace, but is also curious as to why Jamie is on the spacecraft anyway. Jamie stutters that she was bored and wanted a bit of excitement, but the perceptive Lakis thinks there might be another reason. And Lakis is quite right. Jamie learned a terrible secret and needed to tell Lakis urgently before he took off. She managed to get on board the spacecraft, but before she could see him, the spacecraft took off with her on board. She was trying to find a moment when Lakis was alone, when Spud found her. Jamie takes a deep breath and tells Lakis some terrible and totally unexpected news. Chloe is dead. Lakis is horrified. Chloe and Lakis were secret lovers and wanted to be together forever. But when Lakis told Chloe he was having to go away, she was devastated. How could Lakis go away and leave her? Didn't he love her anymore? Was his mission more important to him than she was? Jamie continues with her story. When Demeter learned that Controller was sending Lakis away, she guessed that one of his motives was so that he could have Chloe for himself. Then she heard Controller spreading rumours that Lakis was glad to go away, as that freed him from having to be with Chloe. Demeter knew that this was not true and felt she should warn Chloe about Controller's intentions. However, Chloe was still feeling confused and desperate and found it difficult to separate the truth from the lies. All she did know was that Lakis would no longer be with her and that she was not going to have anything to do with Controller. And so she decided to take her own life. Mike is too busy taunting Jamie to notice Lakis's despair. He tells her that because she is a stowaway, she is like a cabin boy on an old pirate ship. He forces her to wear a silly scarf round her head and calls her Jim Lad. At long last, they reach the asteroid and skim the surface. They land and collect the samples as instructed. Lakis is doubtful that anything collected from such a barren place will have any use back on planet Earth. They reboard the spacecraft and take off to commence the long journey back to Earth. Then they discover the dead body of Jamie in one of the freezer compartments. Her head has been smashed in. Perhaps she committed suicide, wondered Lakis. Mike is contemptuous. Oh, really? She smashed herself in the head and then put her own dead body in one of the freezer compartments, did she? Mike continues to taunt Lakis without knowing anything about Chloe's suicide. Of course, that girl you were so sweet on, that Chloe, she will be in Controller's bed by now, he sneers, and then goes on, and that project of yours back on Earth that you were so keen on, that will be dead in the water by now, put to one side and forgotten about. They continue with their work. While they do so, Lakis thinks hard about what Mike has said to him and what it all means. They continue their long journey home. The scene through their viewscope is beautiful. Mike and Lakis continue to work at analysing the samples they collected from the asteroid. They work professionally, as would be expected from two senior scientists. However, Mike is quite unaware how his comments and attitude have affected Lakis. Seemingly unperturbed by the recent events, Lakis continues his journey home to planet Earth. He is looking forward to getting back. Spud is a very good navigator, as well as very good at preparing food, and Lakis checks with him exactly how long they have been away and how long before they arrive back to Earth. Lakis remembers his home, the silvery blue Earth, and longs to be back. Never mind about all his worries. Never mind that Chloe is dead, and so is his project in all probability. Never mind Jamie and Mike, stored so safely now in their freezer compartments. No, the important thing now is that he and Spud will soon be home. Time for a sleep. While Lakis sleeps, the ever-vigilant Spud keeps watch. Time passes. Some months later, Lakis wakes up and looks through his viewscope. He is not seeing what he expected to see, and he is rather puzzled. Spud confirms that they are on the correct course and are due to land in 8 hours. Lakis is beginning to realise something. Lakis had left his team of agricultural engineers, Demeter and Anona, back on Earth to continue the project he had started. It was very clear to him now that, in fact, although no one other than himself had given them a chance of succeeding, perhaps they had. Lakis focuses his mind so that he can clearly understand what is going on. He had started a project to grow a nutritious plant which could feed the ever-increasing number of starving people on Earth, and it was a popular idea. However, Controller had been convinced that synthetic food was the way forward, and had sent him on a senseless mission to get him out of the way, leaving only a small team of underfunded, albeit brilliant scientists to continue his work. Controller had expected them to fail, but they had not failed. Lakis asks Spud to confirm what is happening. Spud confirms that there is no sign of life on planet Earth except for one species of plant, and that there is nowhere to land as the landing piers are no longer usable. It is a good joke. He started a project to grow a plant that would be hardy enough to grow anywhere and nutritious enough to feed everyone, and he was so successful that the very plant he grew took over the entire planet Earth and wiped out the very people it was supposed to feed. Lakis feels very happy. It is a good joke, and he is in on it. He smiles. He will have another little sleep. There doesn't seem much else to do.